Hey there! Welcome back to Beyond English and another episode of Learning Beyond the Classroom. My name is Basan and today we're learning about questions with how much and how many. Let's read and find out. When we want to know the quantity or amount of something, we ask questions starting with how much or how many. Let's dive deeper. To understand this, we need to understand countable and uncountable nouns. Let's take a look. Countable nouns are nouns we can count. So, let's take a look. A noun we can count: a tree or 2 trees. Over here, a book or many books. So we can count. Okay, countable nouns have a singular and a plural form. Singular, a tree. Plural, trees, with an S. With countable nouns, you can use a singular verb, like is. The book is old. Remember, one book. So we say is. We can also use a plural verb. So, are. The books, 2 or more, are old. One more time, let's go through it. Countable nouns are nouns we can count. So, a tree, 2 trees, the book is old, and the books are old. Okay, there we go. Now, what about uncountable nouns? Let's find out about those together. So, for uncountable nouns, that's right, you guessed it. You can't count it. We cannot count uncountable nouns. Okay, now let's learn the rule. So, uncountable nouns have only a singular form. That means no S. So, milk, yes, that's singular. Milks, no. We cannot use S with uncountable nouns. Remember, they only have a singular form. Okay. With uncountable, we always use a singular verb. So we always say is and not are. For example, sugar is sweet. We cannot say sugar are sweet. No. Remember, always use a singular verb with uncountable nouns. So is. Then we look at a or an or a number. So with uncountable nouns, we cannot use a or an. A rice, a bread, No. What about 2 rice or 2 bread? No. Remember, uncountable nouns only have a singular form. So, rice. Yes. Rice. Yes. Bread? Exactly. No no n, no number. Just our singular form. Okay, now you know countable and uncountable nouns. Let's look at our structure for how much. When we ask how much, we always follow it with an uncountable noun. Remember? How much? Uncountable. So, let's take a look. How much time do we have to finish the test? You cannot say 1 time, 2 time, no. Just time in singular form. So, how much time do we have to finish the test? Let's keep going. Money is also uncountable. 1 money? No. A money? No. Money. Yes. Let's practice. How much money did you spend? Good. Sugar is also uncountable. Let's read it together. How much sugar would you like in your coffee? Well done. Paper is also uncountable. How much paper will I need? Let's keep going. Next, how much milk is in the fridge? And last, how much traffic was there on the way to work? Last time, how much traffic was there on the way to work? Okay, well done. Now, let's move on to how much with a price. So, our structure here is how much plus a singular or plural noun. Remember, noun. Okay, so how much is that painting? 1 painting, singular noun. So we use how much. Again, how much is that painting? Let's move on. Number 2. How much are those shoes? Shoes is a plural noun. So we have to use how much. How much are those shoes? Let's keep going. Next, how much did your jacket cost? Jacket is a singular noun. Let's move on. Next, how much is the dress? Remember, 1 dress, so singular noun. And next, we have how much does it cost? Over here, we're looking at it. It is a singular, so we use how much. Remember, our structure, how much plus a singular or plural noun. Next we ask how many. With how many, we are using countable nouns. So we can count how many. Let's take a look. How many plus plural noun. Let's look at an example to see our structure in action. How many days are there in January? Over here, days are our plural noun. How many days are there in January? Good. Remember, you can count the days. Next, how many cousins do you have? Again, cousins are a plural noun. So we use how many because we can count. How many cousins do you have? Well done. Next, how many books did you buy? Books are a countable noun. 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. Next, how many countries are there in the world? If you didn't know, 195 countries. Next on our list, how many students are in the class right now? And last, how many chairs are there in this room? Okay, now we're finished with our questions with how much and how many. Remember, how much, uncountable, and how many, countable. Now, we're going to use quantifiers to answer how much and how many. What are quantifiers? Well, let's take a look. So, quantifiers with countable and uncountable nouns. The quantifiers are all or no, some or any, a lot of or lots of, enough and less. Let's look at some sentences. Read it with me. We have enough time. Again, we have enough time. Enough is our quantifier, and time is an uncountable noun. Next, Joe has lots of friends. Lots of is our quantifier, and friends are a countable noun. Next, we can say, I can't go out. I've got no money. Over here, no is our quantifier, and money is our uncountable noun. Last, we can say, we saw some lions at the zoo, but we didn't see any tigers. Now these are special because some acts as an affirmative sentence. So, we saw some lions. Yes, we did see some lions, but we didn't see any tigers. So with any, we usually use it as a negative. We did not see any tigers. One more time. Let's read this. We saw some lions at the zoo, but we didn't see any tigers. For this, if we wanted to make a question, we would say, did you see any tigers? And our answer, no, we didn't see any tigers. Or affirmative, yes, we saw some tigers. Okay, now you know your quantifiers with countable and uncountable nouns. And you also know how to use some as an affirmative and any as a negative or a question. Let's keep moving. Next, we have quantifiers with countable nouns. Only countable nouns. So, we cannot use money, we cannot use rice. Only nouns we can count. Okay? Let's take a look. So, our quantifiers here are many, each, few, a number of, several, both, a few, and a couple of. Last time, a couple of. Now, let's look at some sentences. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. A couple of is our quantifier, and minutes is a countable noun. Okay, next. There were many people at the meeting. So, many is our quantifier and people are our countable nouns. There were many people, 100 people, 1,000 people at the meeting. Last, we have there are several shops on this street. So, several is our quantifier and shops are our countable noun. Let's move on. Next are quantifiers with uncountable nouns. So, we say much, a bit of, and a little. Very good. Let's look at some sentences. Would you like a little tea? Remember, a little is your quantifier, and tea is an uncountable noun. Next, could I have a bit of butter, please? Again, a bit of is our quantifier and butter is our uncountable noun. Okay, now it's your turn to do some work. Your first task is find the food and drinks. write them down on a piece of paper or in a book. You have 3 minutes to find all the food and drinks. Let's go. Okay, welcome back. Now, let's check your answers. So, finding the food and drinks. The first word is apples. Next, grapes. Next, water. Then, pasta. Juice. Eggs. Bread. Sandwich. Another sandwich, cheese, and tomatoes. Now, I want you to write the words in red for countable nouns and in green for uncountable nouns. You have 3 minutes. Let's go. Hey! Welcome back. Let's check your answers. So, let's start with countable. Apples, grapes, eggs, sandwich, and tomatoes are countable. So, red. For uncountable, we have water, pasta, juice, cheese. Okay, there are your answers. I hope you got them right, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson. My name is Basan from Beyond English. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!